All right. Thank you again, everyone, for joining today's lesson. We're covering some tips to stay safe online. My name is Christian. I'm part of the Candoo team, and I'm leading today's lesson. And the topic today is online safety. We're going to go through some tips to keep you safe, whether it's, email pop-ups, text messages. We're going to have some examples as well as some clips from media sources that will help us along the way. So our first tip is the phone scams, right? There's a lot of different ways that we can kind of get swindled, especially with technology. So one that's kind of predates the internet is those phone calls, the unexpected phone calls that they claim to be from government agencies such as the IRS, Social Security. They might say they're with the police, a relative, could be also a charity that you may or may not know about, and or even a well-known company such as Microsoft, Amazon, or Apple. Sometimes you might get these calls coming in, or you'll you'll be told to call a number on your screen because something's happening. So regardless of what it is, right, whether it's something good or something bad, right, 9 times out of 10, it's if it's too good to be true, like you won a prize, it's most likely not really not true. If there's any threat of like legal action or arrest, if you don't do something that you need to, give them information, right? These are all red flags, especially when they're having you make a decision on the phone. Like if you need to hang up and go investigate, that's probably the best thing in those scenarios where they don't want you to get off the phone with them. So that's also another red flag. Any request for you to pay, whether it be to get a refund for an unknown charge, and you need to give them cash or give them a gift card for them to put it on. Also, not a good idea since cash and gift cards, there's no protection on getting your money back. Once you give someone these form of payments, there's no fraud protection on cash or gift cards. Also, keep in mind that government agencies really aren't going to be calling you unexpectedly and confirming sensitive information. There's going to be other ways that they'll contact you, and usually that's by certified mail. So if you do find yourself on one of these types of calls, and they seem like they're pressuring you, asking a lot of questions, and you just have that gut feeling that something's off, just hang up. We don't recommend giving any personal information over the phone, such as your address, bank information, your social security number, passwords. I'd say with passwords, don't even text it or email it to anyone, because passwords are essentially a key to an account, and texting or emailing any of this information is just not a secure form of communication. And if someone over the phone, right, says that they need to, get control of your computer and you don't have a scheduled appointment, you don't know where they're from, right? You have the power to just not give them access. You don't have to click on any links they send you so that they can see your screen if you don't know who they are, where they're calling from, and you don't have an appointment. Here we have a clip. This is known for a scammer, or a police station calling a police or a police station that received a scam call. So they wanted to record it so that we can kind of hear the dialogue. So I'm going to play this for us
Can you
and watch
verify
through.
me your home address?
No, I will not.
I'm sorry?
No, I'm not going to give you my address. If you have my file on me, you should know what my address is.
Miss Stephen, you need to understand one thing over here, that I'm trying to cooperate with you on the recorded line, and even you need to cooperate with me. Recent mailing address?
My current address is 205 Saunders, Saunders Street in Apex, North Carolina.
Want me to read out the complete information to you about the allegations from which you can now. There are legal enforcement agencies involved in this case. So before we go ahead and give out the complete information to you, I need you to verify me with the last 4-digit number of your social security so I can confirm that the details are given to the right person.
I'm not going to confirm my social security number with you.
Ms. Stephen, I'm not asking you to confirm your social security number. What I'm asking you just to verify me with the last 4 digits of your social security so I can confirm that the details are given to the right person.
I'm not going to do that.
Social Security Administration and law enforcement agencies has found 25 fraudulent bank accounts opened and used fraudulently using your social security number to commit a fraud of more than $10 million. This account were used to transfer and receive funds for illegal local and international bank wire transfer include like money laundering, drug trafficking, and for internal revenue service, tax scams all over USA. I need to give them the details. So can you just tell me how many bank accounts do you own as per your knowledge and information?
I would like to just speak to your supervisor now, please.
And you told my officer that you want to speak to a senior officer, correct?
That's correct.
Okay, now go ahead and let me know how many bank accounts are originally owned by you, which has nothing to do with the illegal activities.
Well, if it has nothing to do with illegal activities, why do I have to give you tell you how many bank accounts I have?
See, if you do not tell me how many bank accounts you have, we'll go ahead and suspend all the bank accounts which are connected to your social security. So don't blame us if you lose any money. We are trying to help you out over here, okay?
Well, I just don't understand why I'm giving you I would like to know what the allegations are against me and what you're going to take out a warrant for.
Right now, there are 2 criminal charges against you. Number 1, drug trafficking. And number 2, money laundering. Okay?
Well, that's better than the 25 the first guy told me were out against me. And they've hung up on me.
All right. So that was hopefully giving us a little bit of a glimpse of how some of these phone interactions sound like, right? And this is all, recorded by a police officer to kind of help show everyone what to look out for. So that's why we like sharing this clip. We have one other clip that is from a 60-minute special, and it's going to give us it's shorter, and it's just going to give us some good tips about how it affects older adults. So let's go ahead and watch this brief clip.
Tobag says hackers no longer need to infiltrate computers through a back door. She says 95% of hacks today happen after a user clicks on a text, a link, or gives personal information over the phone. She said hackers armed with basic information, like a relative's name found online or an app that can mimic a voice or change the caller ID can create a convincing story.
If you were to receive a phone call, a text message, an email, and it's asking for something sensitive, urgent, or with fear, that's when the alarm bells have to go off in your head and they want me to give something to them. I'm going to take a beat and I'm going to check that this person is who they say they are. I call it being politely paranoid.
All right. So that was the from a 60-minute special, and that is kind of helpful for us to know, as consumers, that they said 95% of the scams that older adults run into is by clicking a link, right? So or typing in a password, going into a website that is not legitimate. So it's initiated by the user. That's why we have these lessons so that we can help you spot those suspicious websites, those things that might get you in trouble. So hopefully that helps us move into our next tip, which is email scams. So aside from the phone calls that you might get from scammers, you're going to get email attempts. So this is going to be a little tricky, and we have examples, but it's very common for you to receive emails that look like they're from a bank, a credit card, maybe it's an app or a payment website. They even look like they're from the company. They're going to have the logo, the branding. So don't just go off of what it looks like. Look at the message of what they're indicating. Now, if you see any messages claiming these following things, we're gonna recommend to kind of just think about your next actions before you click those messages, like the links. So if you get a message saying that the suspicious activity was noticed, maybe there was multiple login attempts, they're asking you to confirm personal information, asking you to make a payment. These are all common themes in what we call phishing emails. Emails where they look like they're from your bank or maybe a message from an app that you're subscribed to or a service such as Amazon or Netflix. And they're asking you to click something in the message along the lines of one of these topics. So before we go into the examples, right, we recommend avoiding opening or downloading any attachments in the message, and be very careful with like the links that are in there. If it says click here to to find out more or to contact us, just be very careful with those links because it's most likely going to take you to a not legitimate website for the company they're claiming to be from. If you're not sure about a link, then it's better to just hold off and not click it. We recommend, ignoring even messages about you've won something for free, you won a gift card or something like a vacation package, because these are just too good to be true, and they're going to try to encourage you to act before, the time runs out. Let's jump into some examples. And some of these are actually real life examples that we've gotten as a team, and we wanted to share with the residents that we're helping. So here we have a message using Netflix as their like cover up, as their disguise. So normally these messages, before you even open them, it'll probably have this in the subject line. It's going to say urgent, update your payment information. So it's going to be it's going to look like it's very important. Like you need to click on it immediately. When we open the message, this is what we found. And I want to point out just the main things that make this, not a good message to click on or to interact with. Um, Number one is it has that, update your payment information, make a payment, update your account now. Those types of urgent messaging um, is very common with phishing emails. Number two is that it doesn't mention our name, right? This specific example just says, "Hi, dear," meaning this can apply to anyone. It's a generic message that is probably sent to hundreds of thousands of other emails. And whoever's sending it is hoping that someone really thinks it's from Netflix and clicks on this update account now button to update your payment. So that's really the information is it's not telling you to log on to netflix.com or go to your app. It's wanting just to click this button, and most likely if you do, it's going to ask for your payment information, which is what they want. They want your payment information so that they can, take things from your account essentially. So be very careful with these messaging that you might see. Mark this as junk, as spam, um, and and also ask yourself, do I have an account with Netflix? If I don't, this doesn't pertain to me and I can ignore it. You might also see pop-up messages like this that will appear on your computer. This is one example that came up where it's indicating your browser's been locked. Um, it says it's from, this website that says Mac Online Support, and it has, essentially almost like criminal fines, kind of like a threat to that if I don't do something, I guess if I leave the website, there's going to be something bad happening. And there's a phone number here. So these messages are just pop-up ads. They're just advertisements that look like they're legitimate messages from the internet. So just be careful when you see anything, especially if it's saying, call this number to fix this. It's just a ploy to kind of get you to contact them and hope that you give them sensitive information. And more commonly, you're going to see messages that might appear like this on a computer, where it's making you think that your computer's been infected, or that there's X number of viruses found, and they want you to call this number for emergency tech support. Call now. Just looking at how this message is displayed makes you kind of get on alert. But just be aware that this is just a pop-up ad. It's just an advertisement that makes it look like a notification to trick people to call that number. And it's most likely going to be like in the earlier clip where someone's going to be wanting to confirm your information and get you in trouble. So just be aware of these unexpected, urgent messaging that you get when you're online. You might get something in your text messages as well, unfortunately. So it's not just email. It might be a pop-up on your computer. It might be a text message, such as this one, another real-life example where it's saying your Amazon account has been locked, multiple failed login attempts, and a link here to kind of click to fix it. And it's saying immediately, take action within X number of hours or permanent suspension. So there's no phone number here to call, but it has that link. And if you look closely at the link, it claims to be from Amazon. But if it is from Amazon, it should be amazon.com and then maybe slash something else. But this website has no mention of Amazon, which means it's going to take you to another bogus website. So your phone should have a report junk or report a spam button below it. Anytime you receive a text message from an unknown sender, it's going to give you the option to mark something as junk or as spam so that you don't keep getting those messages on your phone. Our third tip, beyond being aware, I think that's the biggest takeaway from this, is just be on the lookout for those suspicious messaging. And beyond that is using strong passwords. Your passwords are essentially going to help keep your account secure. We recommend using a password that's, as complex as you can make it, but still remember. So we recommend using 10 characters, give or take. Even if the website that you're using only requires, let's say, 6 or 8, make it a little bit longer because that makes it harder for other people to guess or break into. Avoid using personal information like your birth date or a family member's name. Information that people that know you or things that might be public knowledge to other people, don't put that in a password. It's just not a good idea because that just gives them a head start to finding out what your password might be. Now, you also need to make sure it's easy to remember to avoid constantly resetting your password and potentially getting locked out. So this is where it might be a good idea to write down your passwords, keep that in a safe place, have just like a phone book or an address book, have that sensitive information written down somewhere where you can access when you need it. And like I mentioned earlier, text message and email, they're not necessarily secure ways of communicating. So we don't recommend sharing passwords through these methods. It's better to do it, in person if you need to, over the phone if you know who exactly you're talking to, but at your own discretion. There are password managers, which are essentially secure digital vaults that you can organize and keep your passwords all listed and updated. The benefit of a password manager is that you can share it with friends and family member or people that you want to share with, if in case you need them to take over an account for you. And they normally don't require you to enter the password each time. It'll just kind of appear as a autofill option. If you want to learn about password management, Candoo can help you do that. Another tip that we have is backing up your data. Making sure that it's being backed up. So it's important in case you accidentally need to reset or change your device because of something like malware or something happens to your device. If it stops working, you might lose your videos, your pictures, your documents that are on your computer or phone. Many of our devices, especially Apple, will have backup set up by default as long as you have an Apple account that you're signed into. If you're not sure, we can help during a one-on-one session. Make sure that your phone, your computer is being backed up to an Apple cloud account so that if something happens to your phone, you lose it, or your computer stops working, your information is still available through those cloud accounts. If you don't want to use a cloud account, then you can also have an external device that you plug into your computer for backup. That's another option if you didn't want to have it cloud storage on your device. Our final tip is relating to what to do if you think you've been, a victim of a scam or been hacked. And this is where we can offer, you know, really reaching out to your financial accounts if you feel that you've provided bank information to someone that maybe you shouldn't have, or if you see a unrecognized charge on your account on your statement, right? Your bank and your credit card companies have protections for those situations, and calling the customer service line on the card itself or on the bank statement is going to be the best way to alert them as soon as you see that something's, needs to be reported. If for some reason you don't have control of your computer because of a situation where you called a number and you probably gave someone access to your computer that you didn't want them to, you can turn off your computer by holding down the power button and forcing it to shut down, and call Candoo if you need help restoring your devices, like to kind of help scan them, help them clean up anything after a suspicious attempt like that. Finally, there are websites from the government that you can contact to report a suspected fraud attempt. This is reportfraud.ftc.gov. These are government websites that end in .gov, and that's the U.S. government website domain. You also have the FBI Internet Crime Complaint Center for more resources, which is ic3.gov. And if you just find yourself getting a lot of sales call solicitations, then you might want to consider adding your phone number to the do not call list to minimize, just those legitimate sales calls or solicitations by calling the number on screen here, or just going to donotcall.gov. So those are options that you can take to kind of just learn more about online safety and just minimize those opportunities that might get you on the phone with someone that you don't want to talk to. Here on screen is our contact phone number at Candoo Tech. This is the only phone number that we use that we'll call you at if you have a scheduled session, and to contact us. It's the only number. And our phone or email is on screen as well if you want to reach us that way.